How's the mic now? Oops. How we sound on the mic now? We sounding good? We sounding good? All right. So I had I had a I was making a turn this on. Look like shit. But I was making a I had a beat that I made. I think I made it on stream too. I don't remember. Rufus, what's up, bro? I appreciate I appreciate you saying that. Um, so I made this beat on the X, and when I did it, I had um I had sampled a record. It was like it was from Sample It. And the sample's dope, but when I came, I mean, it was it's sometimes like the because I worked in MIDI for so long, and I didn't really like do a lot of sample based music for most of the time that I made tunes. Like the kind of the way that I got working was like I'll write parts and know that a sound has to change or something, but just like I'll just kind of move where like the inspiration is taking me. So when when I work on an MPC, I record the sample into the MPC first, play the loop, and then I'm putting drums around it, and I'm focusing on, sound selection and making the kick and the bass sound good, and I kind of tune out. And the way, like, if you listen to the chords in this beat, the that second one, the bum here, listen. That second one, it is so late, and the chords in that sample, it's just like they're so they're so present. You know what I mean? They're so present and up in the front that and because they sit like in that low mids, like it kind of bro, it was completely fucking with the groove. Like when I listen to this beat, it was just me so mad because it's a really good idea. Like when you listen to the groove by itself, you know what I mean? That's so good. So I was like, dude, I'm not doing this. I went in and I dragged this sample into RipX so I could kind of look at what was going on. Um, and if you're ever gonna do this, what I'm getting at is if you ever run into a situation where you want to, like, you're like, all right, I gotta remake this sample because I listen to the sample and I'm like, all right, it's an EP and a flute, you know. Let's listen to it, right? So I got this. And you could see it. This chord, it's an F, it's a G, and then they're playing the C on top, right? So it's kind of it's like it's like an F minor, it's like an F minor 9 without the third, right? So which is you guys know that's like my favorite chord. And then I then I'm looking at the flute notes, right? And I'm like, all right, this is F. Come up here. We're doing like a minor third type of thing. If you listen to it a little bit more, so you've got, and what I'm doing is I'm listening to the different rhythms, right, and just memorizing it. So I know that the chord we're just on the one, just bum 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 bum. Right, and then you've got that flute the doing 1 2 3 4, like listen to the top. Right, so that's an easy melody to write. And then the only other thing that you hear in there is there's a little lead line in the back. So if you listen to it, you could hear it. It's going boom 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 boom. It's a little higher, right? So I know the chord. I know the chord I'm gonna be using. I know the sounds, and now I know the rhythms, right? I just need a chord that's going bomb 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 bomb. I know that I need like a little trap melody that 1 2 3 4, and then I know that I need that 1 2 3, right? So that's three sounds. So once I had that, I said, okay, cool. Let me go. Let me go into the let me go into the session. And then I was able, you know, because when you do this, it's not really, you can lose yourself and you can get discouraged really fast. This is what I learned doing stuff like this. You can lose yourself and you could get discouraged really fast trying to put on Melodyne, grab the MIDI, get the exact MIDI. Like, don't do that, right? Do not do that. What just make it make sense, right? So I was able to write this. I'll take you through it step by step. The um the first thing that you might notice, and this was really, like, you really got, like, you gotta pay attention to your ears. You gotta trust your instinct. And when I was listening to my original beat, that that bong 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 of the same chord over and over and over again throughout, like, it just was it was fatiguing. Like, if you ever get something, something in your composition, or something in your beat where you're just like, I don't know if I could listen to that for 2 minutes, then you can't listen to it for 2 minutes, and you got to get that shit out of there. So a trick, I mean, I'll tell you the truth. How I came up with this, right? And if you're not here, this is something that you got to work on. But instead of going, I was like, there's no way I'm gonna want to listen to that. So I did. And what is that? That is that the way that I found that was I just played, right? And this is why, like, even if you suck, I suck at playing, right? I cannot go and pull up to an open mic and get on the keys and follow a drummer. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I don't have chops like that. But for the purpose of like tapping out a rhythm for a composition, I can do that, and you can too. And what's gonna happen once you do stuff like that, you'll find stuff, because everything isn't math and piano roll. You see what I'm saying? So you'll find stuff that just felt good. And what I found out, what I was able to just instinctually off of trying to play the music, was I found out that, like, oh, okay, I need to switch the rhythm. I didn't think that I needed to switch the rhythm. I didn't look at the piano. I just played it real quick. And I was like, okay, I know what that is. That's me, like leveraging in doing like some clave vibes, right? So, and all it is it's the little trap, um the little trap kick pattern, right? So, like, if you say we were drawing a drum pattern, we would do snares here, right? And then you go boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? And it's like those rhythms, you use them as the building blocks of making your melody. So this is how that rhythm looks. But for the purpose of this sample, and having a super repetitive vibe, because I'm letting notice that, like, the release of this pad, or of this key patch, it's dying out, so you get the dynamics. It's like everything is there. Then we add in the um the counter melody. So the main thing with the flute part is I took the flute, right? And what made, because that flute in the original sample is what drew my ear to it, right? So that's the other thing you got to pay attention to, is if you're remaking a sample, the part that drew you to pick that sample, that's what you really got to um focus on recreating, if you intend to like the beat after you swap out the sample, right? And this is just for you, like doing and if you get good enough at making yourself happy when you swap out a sample, then you could do it with other people that you work with. But the main thing that made this flute sound cool was the delay that was in it, right? Instead of it sounding like 1 2 3 4, it had that dun 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 dun. Here, watch. So that's a delay instead of it just being dun 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 dun, right? So I went ahead and yum 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 yum. I used a I figured I would use an old timey delay like they would have had when they made this sample, because this is a sample from the 70s. The Bucket Brigade delay from Arturia is always dope. Just turning that the echo up a lot, and now when you hear it, I've got it on the eighth notes doing a ping pong. These next two parts, the thing that you want to remember if you're redoing samples is that when these records were being made, in order to make them sound big and impressive, so that they didn't sound like they were being played super far away, is it's the good old parallel processing, right? But instead of parallel processing as using a send or whatever, because they didn't have DAWs, what they would do is they would overdub stuff, right? They would record the same part either with the same instrument or a similar instrument. So what I'm doing here is I'm stacking these chords. And you see how how when I do that, the sound it gets bigger, but it's not like crazy, but there's more details in it. There's more textures. Each one of them has like a different sounding delay. One of them is adding stuff to like in higher octave. One of them is thickening out the low mids, and then you put them all together, and you get the sample. So now I can go ahead and take that out, right? Take my sample. And see what we got. And I've still got like all the vibe from you know recording the damn I've got all this all this stuff from recording the damn the drums into through the MPC, and recording it through the preamps on the SSL and everything, going through the compressor. We still have all that vibe and texture, but now I don't have that, just that annoying and sounding like an alarm clock with a low pass filter on it. That let me see, is this the this, bro, this, oh my god. I wish you guys could have seen how I made that bass. That bass was dude, I was sitting here with I have I'll show you some. So I have this I have this this piece of hospital furniture. I don't know if you guys are I don't know if you guys am I even on the right camera? Yeah. This is the first preamp I ever got um when I was when I was recording myself. And you know, it's a one channel mic pre, and I was sitting here, I was like, man, the like the 808s and the subs coming out the computer, they just weren't I don't know, they just weren't doing it for me. And I have like in my tray right here, I've got my I got my ASRX, which has really cool 808s and basses that I sampled, but it was they were it wasn't it, you know. So I'm sitting here with this preamp, and I remembered I was like, oh, let me get the Zulu off of the Moog, and I was using the Prophet X because you know, even though the Moog bass is awesome, it doesn't, like, there was a specific vibe I was going for, like the old timey Wu Tang bass. And I remember they used to talk about, like, you know, it's like the bass from like Fourth Chamber, you know, that and it was a test tone that RZA would sample off of the different you know, boards in the studio. So I just took a sine wave from the just the regular sine patch from the damn Prophet X, because that's the only synth that I have that has a pure sine wave. And and I just cranked that preamp all the way up so that I would have like the noise floor on it, and through the Zulu, and this made this 808, and I was so happy with it, because that shit mixed with the kick, it goes. Like it doesn't. You can't hear it. I gotta make it so you can hear it on the phone now. But when I was doing that, I was like, dude, I'm such a fucking try hard, bro. Like, why am I? But I just made sure, like, I was like, yo, I'm saving this 808, and I'm not doing this again. Do I have a sub fat? No, I don't have a sub fat. But yeah, so now I could take this, Command E it, and save it over the original because, dude, what the hell? Yeah, that the first version of this beat was not it. Like it was such a cool sample and everything, but the way and that's the way it goes, bro. With some of like those old prog rock records, and it's especially is especially those old prog rock records because they and I tried everything. Like I was like, oh, let me put it into Ableton Live and do the and do the damn um bend markers and what have you. And then not only that, because I used Serato sample to take the drums out of that, there was something like there was weird aliasing that was going on the highs, and then when I would filter it, like that's like, dude, that's the other thing, bro. Like Serato stems is cool for being able to isolate stuff, but man, once you get into trying to make that beat sound good, like for real, and you start really listening to what these stem separators do to the audio, it gets depressing fast. It gets real depressing fast. I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys you guys taking advantage of any of the summer sales yet? I'm still mad that that they even put the plugin I want on sale yet. I decided a few days ago to flip off RipX. I'd rather keep the filter skills going. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a couple. There's a like you. It's just they're the same vibe, same texture. That shit was nice. Um, enter. That's what's up, Tanner. All right, so there was something I wanted to. There was something I wanted to check out. What do you guys got going on? You guys got anything crazy in producer world? Oh, Heat Waves is showing me the Hakai. The NI S88 keyboard with complete 14 standard is $899. Yeah, that's a good one. Eternalist says nothing much, just laughs of these Akai owner tubers being all depressed now because of ski. I tell you what, man, that Eternal, that is an interesting that is an interesting um exercise in human nature. Tanner by the Sea says that shit is getting out of control. What's out of control about it? Like when I think about out of control, I think when I think about out of control, I think about like I don't know, like I think about real shit. Like I think about out of control like something that's dangerous, you know what I mean? Like you know, cuz I come from like the electrical trade and construction work. So like I think about out of control like oh my god, that machine's out of control. Let's get back somewhere where it's safe, you know. Don't get hurt, you know. I don't I don't think about like people making YouTube videos as being out of control, you know? And I think it's very interesting to me to watch how you guys watch content, receive content, react to content, and how content affects people emotionally, right? Because like I'm a freestyle right now, but I don't know if you guys I don't know if you guys watch any like the movie stuff, and it's like, you know, people talk about like I was just watching this Valuetainment video, and he was talking about, you know, Hollywood and the new rules for diversity being implemented to be able to be nominated for best actor or whatever. And what's happened in Hollywood is they have a more focused, intentional focused effort to include diversity, people of marginalized backgrounds, women's, LGBT. And because we have grown up, especially the ones of us that are older, because we're older and we've grown up with a certain set of programming, we're seeing the new stuff, and a lot of people are having like really bad reactions to it. The reason why I bring that shit up is because video content, historically, the way that we've interacted with it, it's been programming, right? It is television programming, it is radio programming. Like it's not a figure of speech. For example, like in the 80s and 90s, the United States government started financing different movies through Hollywood so that so that the population would have like a pro military outlook, right? So you got to see like a whole bunch of stuff like Red Dawn and Top Gun, and you notice like all the different secret agents movies. It was like, it was very, is telling you like, just giving you this worldview of right and wrong, good and bad. It was all based around that. So we like we've been conditioned to base, whether you want to admit it or not, but most of the people have been conditioned to base like our worldviews and our thoughts and opinions based off of our entertainment, right? It's the reason why, I don't know if you guys like watch the conspiracy people, but this shit always cracks me up. Like, the conspiracy people, they'll talk about like, and such and such, and this is what's really going on, and it's just like that movie. It's just like that movie because the Illuminati has to put it in a movie before they could do it in real life. Like, that's how deep it goes with the visual programming. And when I see you guys saying that people making videos about their NPCs is getting out of control, I just ask, like, what the fuck are you really talking about, bro? Like really think about it, right? Because I'm not trying to be like, like Mr. Oh, I'm so smart, I'm above it all. But one of the things in my life is I've had like, I'm like a I don't that type of programming and stuff like that. I don't I filter it like a producer filters listening to a beat, right? So you guys are producers, you listen to music, and you'll like maybe, maybe you'll go like maybe you'll go somewhere and listen to music, and you'll be listening to the snare, or you'll be like, oh man, he should have side chained, he should have. So like that's the way, like that type of programming comes out, like when Top Gun 2 comes out, you know what I mean? And they're fighting against, they keep on calling it the enemy, the enemy, the enemy, but they don't put a name on the country. My mind is instantly thinking like, this is very interesting. I wonder why they didn't choose to put a name on the country, and what what the focusing of the messaging is behind that, right? Um so when I see like a bunch of content come across my feed, one, I know that, and maybe this is how, what I'm trying to get at is this is how you guys can kind of interpret it and cope with it too, right? If you see a whole bunch, like the way that your content works, right? Okay, if you're on Facebook, right? So if you're coming here and you're like, yo, this like this stuff is getting out of control, you have to understand the platforms that you're working on, right? If you're on Facebook, Facebook feeds you content that D Daniel says is getting ridiculous now. It's not even that serious. It's not getting ridiculous, guys. Like, listen to me. Nothing's getting ridiculous. There is nothing ridiculous about somebody cutting on their camera and talking about what they want to talk about. There's nothing ridiculous about that, right? What's ridiculous is the way that the platform manipulates you into interacting with it. Here's what I mean, right? If you fuck with NPC, most likely you're an NPC gang. NPC gang exists on Facebook. What do we know about Facebook? Facebook purposely puts content in front of you that you will interact with, right? And what Facebook does is I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Facebook sets you up for debates. it doesn't set you up to see content that you like, right? Because if you see content that you like, what do people do? Nobody leaves positive feedback. Facebook is a negative feedback loop. So if you make the choice to get on your phone, right? If you make the choice to get on your phone and you decide to go to NPC Gang, what's going to happen is you're not going to see posts of beats. You're not going to see posts of tips and tricks, right? You're going to see posts that are similar to the ones that you have used negative language to interact with. Hey, this is stupid. Hey, da, 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 da. That's what Facebook is going to give you. So it's not like there's some like assault on the way that you make music, or there's some concerted effort to change your mind about anything. It's just that you're being manipulated by a social media platform, and you're allowing it to happen, right? I'm going to tell you like this. This is what I do. Anytime something new comes out on for Akai, and I've been doing this since the NPC key 61, I delete the Facebook app on my phone, because interacting in a Facebook group becomes super toxic, because all it's going to show you is stuff that you disagree with, right? So it's going to serve you up stuff that you disagree with. You're going to make a comment, and what happens when you make a comment? All you want is that notification. That's all you want, is the notification. So what I'm trying to illustrate to you guys is that it's not the content that is out of control. It's your interaction with the content, because once you start interacting with that content, you want that response, like, yeah, I said my group of facts. I can't wait till this stupid fucking guy responds back to me. Look at this dumbass, you know what I'm saying? And then you take a picture of it, and you send it in your Discord, with people who are more like-minded, and you're like, yo, can you believe this dumbass? He don't even know how to do yeah. Bro, delete that app off your phone. Just delete the app off your phone. D. Daniel says, much respect, CMP, but it's ridiculous because there's 1,000 ways to make your converters hit. Software and hardware, it's just not that serious in 2023. D. Daniels, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, I don't understand what's ridiculous. Like, and this goes back to the feedback loop, right? Because like we use D. Daniels as an example. Like, I don't understand what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't understand the context of what he's saying. People are just like, oh, it's too much. Like, it's too much what, bro? It's too much discussion. You don't think that people, like, you're saying that there's 1,000 ways to make your converters hit, software and hardware. It's just not that serious in 2023. Like what's not that serious? You're talking about we're talking about let's be real, guys. We're talking about computer programs, right? And we're talking about music technology, right? So if you're having sensory overload from those discussions, step away from the platform. You know what I mean? Like, if it's irritating you to the point where you're watching a live stream and you're like, oh, this is making me mad, like, why are you interfacing with that content to begin with? Because again, these are computer programs, and these are, pieces of musical technology. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but musicians are nerds, and nerds talk about technology. And not only are musicians nerds, musicians are talented nerds. So you've got that double stroke of ego. You understand what I'm saying? So the people, and then God forbid you get somebody who's you get somebody who's talented, they're a nerd, and then they've been successful in their career. They're going to, they're going to want to have discussions about like how they got there and what they it's just like anything else. Like if you get a if you get if you get fucking, what I mean, three grandmas in a kitchen talking about how they make fucking macaroni and cheese. You know what I mean? One of them's going to talk about making a roux. One of them's going to talk about how the other one's is too dry. One of them's going to be talking about the pasta. You know what I mean? And then like think about it. Like what type of fucking dumbass do you look like as coming in the kitchen and then being like, "Nah, grandma, it's 2023. There's all types of noodles at the store. You guys shouldn't even share your recipes. Granted, you guys have a lifetime worth of cooking. You know what I mean? You've made thousands of meals and feasts for people. People talk about all three of y'all's macaroni and cheese, but you know what? It's 2023. We're just gonna get the box from the store because it's not that serious." Like people who like to eat would look at you crazy, and rightfully so, because we'd be like, "Nah, bro, like we don't want to eat Velveeta." You know what I'm saying? We want to eat grandma's macaroni and cheese. Even though it's 2023 and we can and we can eat the Velveeta, we want to eat grandma's macaroni and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Now the average consumer, if they're hungry, they might not care so much about eating the Velveeta, but they're hungry. But if you give that person a choice, they want the Thanksgiving macaroni and cheese, right? So to sit here and for your critique to be, it's not that serious, is, I don't know, bro. It's like, it's kind of like, then what is serious? You know what I mean? Like what is serious then? Conundrum says, I feel like the typical person doesn't have thick enough skin to hear anything bad about their preferred method. So instead of making music, they go on a crusade to yo. And conundrums, that's really what it's about, bro. I agree with you 100%. Conundrum says, I feel like the typical person doesn't have thick enough skin to hear anything bad about their preferred method. So instead of making music, they go on a crusade to validate their method out of hurt. And that's true, bro. Like, cause you, you know you noticed you notice that, because what I've been doing is, like, I've been going to, like, for example, the like whenever I see the discussion and I'm like, hey, people will be like, they'll comment like EQ and compression or this and that. And I'll go and try to find these people's music, and I can't find no people's music. I can't find no content of them showing people how to make things sound better. I can't find any discussions, no links or no nothing. So you've just got people who don't post anything for the world to see but their opinions, right? And I think that's what really needs to stop. Like people who cut on their camera and they make music for you, and they're giving you value, and in whatever form that is, that's awesome. But you guys that watch them and then jump in the discussion and you don't fucking make no music, and I can't find your beat stars or your shop or your shop, or you don't sell no packs, you don't post nothing on SoundCloud, you don't have nothing on any streaming platforms whatsoever. Like, why do you feel so passionately? That's what I don't get. Ali Star says a typical NPC user only has an NPC. Only having an NPC back in the day was a different thing. Punch straight out of the box. People want that typical. Yeah, you gotta have. If you have an NPC, you should have more than an NPC though. I think that's what gets a lot of people in trouble who get NPCs. You know what I mean? Like they get an NPC, like bare minimum, you should have an NPC and a synth, either NPC and a synth or an NPC and a rompler. You need an NPC and then something to layer your sounds. You know. D. Daniel says, I want grandma's macaroni and cheese for sure, but I don't need grandma breathing down my neck all year saying Mac is the only one needed in the world. I get that it's good, but the extra talk isn't needed. But yeah, but again, like I said, you're in control of that. You know what I mean? Like that's that's what like am I crazy? But for example, it for me to hear, like, listen, you guys are still fucking got sand in your pussies about EA ski, right? So correct me if I'm wrong. In order to hear EA ski, I have to press play on his video, right? I want to show you guys something because this changed my life, right? I want to show you something. So say EA ski is pissing me off, right? I'm just tired of EA skis videos coming up on my channel, right? And I'm just like, dude, every time I see EA ski, he's being an old man, and I know that the converters on it, but I'm just tired of his message, right? I'm just tired of his message. So here's what I do, bro. I take the sand out of my pussy, right? And I go perspective, and I go here, right? Where is it, dude? Where is it? I know where it is on my phone because I do this shit on my phone. But if you go to the channel, oh my god, where is it? You can, yo, SD, tell me where to find this shit, bro, because he's the one who showed me how to do it. But you look at the video, and you could say, yo, don't recommend this channel, right? So I have, yeah, don't recommend. So I have people that I don't want to hear shit from on don't recommend. For example, bro, like I had a problem with my streams where I would be consuming content, and then the content that I consumed, I would kind of react to it on streams, but it was about people that I have like with like real life relationships to, and I would be like talking shit about their content, but not really, like kind of being shady, and it was a problem. So like for example, like Av and Busyworks Beats and Curtis King, like I do not subscribe to their channels, and I have don't recommend me information from this channel, and don't show me videos from this channel, so that because they all have the way that they do YouTube, and that's not the way that I do YouTube, and I don't want to be you know influenced or critiquing their content, you know what I mean, where it has no part in making samples. It has no part in cooking up on the NPC. You see what I'm saying? So you just ignore this shit. Like I'll show you, like, for real, bro. Like if we go to Twitter, right, if we go to Twitter right now, and I type in Busyworks Beats, like Busyworks is my boy, bro. Busyworks is my boy. You see right here, unmute Busyworks Beat. Busyworks Beats is muted on Twitter because the content that he puts on Twitter, it's a style of content that I personally don't enjoy consuming, and sometimes it can trigger me to go on a rant, right? But that's my friend. And this is his business, right? This is how he feeds his family. So I don't need to be, interpreting his content and then going on to my platform and then being shady about what he does, right? You just put that shit off into a corner. You know what I mean? Nobody, and this is what I'm saying, like, nobody's breathing down your fucking neck. Nobody's making you watch any of this shit, bro. Like, y'all love like y'all love like videos about dudes who don't have no job telling women to take accountability for their place in the sexual marketplace and all that bullshit because it makes you feel good, you know. Like, you gotta have some accountability with what you ingest content wise. Like, this is your diet. Your diet is not just what you eat. You know what I mean? It's also what you witness and what your what's it called? What you're interacting with. Because it will influence what comes out of your mouth, like 100%. Naldo said I did that with Unison Audio. Yeah, bro. I dude, I went through my subscriptions. I went through my subscriptions and I unfollowed every music channel um at the beginning of this year. I unfollowed every single music channel because I didn't want to come on my platform and then and be sassy about someone else's videos, bro. I wanted to be able to just go. Like, I have a section in my Discord called CMP Reacts where if people who are in my Discord want to um have me watch something and get my take on it, I'll look at it that way. But and to be honest with you, it's been a huge help because here's what's not happening. I'm not like looking at plugins and chasing plugins and being like, "Ooh, I need that plugin, I need that plugin." No. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people are showing me that that SP1200 plugin that I showed a few couple days on screen, right? But it's not, I've got what I'm doing right now. I'm not looking at this at this sample maker or that sample maker or what's the trend. I just open up my computer, find a sample, and flip it. And I gotta tell you, I gotta be honest with you, it's been some of the most fun that I've had making music, in a long time. Because the content that you take in, it will affect you, man. So you guys have got to have some accountability on it on that side. Just don't engage, bro. Many musicians don't listen to other music. They can't. It's a distraction. All the Andrew Tate clips I tell YouTube not to recommend. Oh my god, bro. Like, that was crazy. I remember I watched like one Andrew Tate video, and then all these Andrew Tate videos started coming in, and then this other like Manosphere channel, like just Pearly thing, started coming in, and every time one of them would, like, I would just do not recommend this channel, do not recommend videos, do not recommend this channel, because you watch one, and what happens with YouTube is they want you to like, so Facebook wants you to argue, right? And what YouTube wants you to do is YouTube wants to keep you on the app. Well, they all want to keep you on the app, but YouTube wants to keep you on the app So it's gonna keep on showing you videos that are like the last one that you want, right? And then on top of that, creators know creators know that that is how the YouTube algorithm works, right? So say I was trying to grow my YouTube channel. And this is what you guys need to understand. And once you understand the way that the manipulation works, maybe you'll you'll start to take a little bit more pride. But think about it like this. Say I make a video, right? I make a video about hey PreSonus, right? You make me pay $300 for this DAW, but I don't have a piano roll that's as good as FL Studio. It's just lines of code. I should be able to have chord stamps, one click editing, and I need to be able to have the last note or the next note that I click in be the same length as the last one, right? And I'm like, the FL Studio piano roll is so much superior. You got to get on your job. And I do a stream about it. And say I haven't made a whole bunch of videos on my channel, but I do this stream and it does numbers. And I'm like, shit. And then say I got like a drum kit to sell, and I want to start doing like videos for sale on my channel or on my website, right? So you use YouTube to point towards your website. Well, I know that YouTube wants to recommend videos that are similar to the topic that I'm talking about. And guess what? The topic that I'm talking about is not covered by all the other YouTubers. I'm the only YouTuber that's talking about this, right? So what do? I make a fucking video about that same topic every single day. It's called anchoring, right? So that you can anchor in this keyword so that anytime somebody looks up Studio One piano roll, my videos come up. And the more videos that I have on that subject, the more views that I'm going to get. The more videos that I have on this subject, where I'm also explaining to people that they can go buy MIDI on my website and that they can go get my course, that's more advertisement to my products, right? I don't really give a fuck if Studio One ever has a piano roll like FL Studio. You know why? Because I got FL Studio on my computer too. As a matter of fact, I make beats on FL Studio. And then I go and I run them into Studio One to finish them off, right? It doesn't matter to me because I got all that shit. But you only have Studio One, and you want the FL Studio piano roll. So now you're on my page and you're on my streams talking about me like, like, yeah, you know what I mean? He's sticking up for me. You're a fan of, and it's, I mean, guys, this is how the shit works. This is like that. You get that, right? You get it, right? Like, if you come to YouTube, and you're trying to sell stuff, the first thing that you have to do is you need to have a video that has a unique set of keywords that is not being utilized by a lot of people, so that when you make your video, there is a chance that it could get searched. That's like Like that's what it's about. Are you guys picking up on this analogy, or am I losing you? You see what I'm saying? Like this is, I don't know if you guys know how software like this works, but this is you never find a keyword. You never find a keyword like this. You know? And if you're and if you're in a niche, this shit's easy. Like look at who's making these videos. I can make a better thumbnail than him. You know what I mean? Look at this. And then you've got your whole content run right here. I can't rank on this. Right? Competition's too high. Notice how in here everybody's thumbnail's the same. So my point is in saying this is if you're getting that feeling, if you're getting that feeling that it's like, why is everybody saying it so much? Why is everybody saying it so much? Dude, that is your instinct to stop pressing play on the videos, right? That's like that's what it's about because guess what? As long as you people keep on pressing play on these fucking videos, they're going to continue to make them because this is how they figure out which videos to make. You know what I'm saying? Like look at this video. They don't even got an NPCX. They're just talking about the price of it. And it's just right there to trigger you. You know what I mean? This is a huge L. Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch that because those stupid motherfuckers, they shouldn't have bought that. So let me watch that and see what she's talking about. And it's just like, why, bro? Didn't you pop up here to find a sample? You know what I mean? Anyway. Favorite mic for rap vocals? Oh man, that's a rough one. Bro, I finally get the package tomorrow. Oh shit, my boy's getting his MPC one. I pulled up for the SPL added to your SSL6 chain. How are you liking it, bro? I like it a lot. I'm really happy with the sound, to be honest with you. Shut up. What do you mean subscribe? I'm already logged in, bro. What is this? I don't what is subscribing? Did they I'm already logged. Oh, they getting smart. They getting smart. They watching my videos, bro. Would it be possible to do a quick rundown on how to route Studio One to monitor audio from websites? I mean, do you have an Apollo interface? Because if you don't have an Apollo interface, I can't show you. I don't have the big six. I have the SSL6, and I use all the compressors on it, and the board is quiet. Let's see. Let's see what YouTube has. I haven't been on. Let's see what let's see what these guys. Let's see what these guys are on. I like that one. We'll run that right quick. We can run that right quick. Oh no. Boom. Get the NPCZ. All right, there we go. New Sam Peasy. Evie. Fucking happy accidents. Let's do what we came to do, though. Yo, I gotta tell you, I love like one of the things that I've always missed about like Machine was the way that I used to move around with the encoders and having these the Q links back and being able to scroll like this. Oh my god, it makes me so happy. envelopes. Browse.
Hey, I would.
Let's go to program edit. Oops. Oh, yeah, I love the Q links, bro. They make me so happy. Bro, that that damn what's it called? SPL knob though. It's very nice. It's a very nice. X. I don't need that. What are you guys talking about? how useful is that meter on the top right corner? I mean, I don't know. I barely ever look at it, to be honest with you. TBH, bro, I barely look at that shit. $168.5. CMP, have you heard anything good about the Black Lion 2x2 interface? No. I haven't heard anything about it, to be honest. I'm thinking about grabbing the SSL 2 Plus or a UAD Volt 276. What kind of interface do you have now? Are you using, are you running that? No. Why would I? No. That's that's not how the mixer works. I'm going out of another set of outputs on the mixer to my DAW. That the DB25, that stuff is like got the insert circuits on it and shit. You have an old PreSonus USB? Yeah, those two interfaces that you mentioned will both be a step up from what you have now. So you'll definitely be happy with that. A big upgrade for you was getting the Vault over the Studio 24C. That's good. Yeah, PreSonus interfaces, unless you're getting like the Quantum or that instance that came out before the Quantum, they're not great. You know. The Volt is wicked. It has the 610 preamp. Those aren't circuits. Be careful. Be careful how you say that. Those are digital recreations of the circuits. Like this is a 610 preamp, right? You see how big it is. This is making up like room for the for the heat and everything that goes on in this 610 preamp. They didn't take it and shrink it and put it in a vault. Okay, guys, like this cost $1,200. This is not inside a vault. That's not what's in the vault. They just have a little an emulation on it. So it's a Diet 610. Yeah. Yeah. It's cool. It's better than not having it at all. I'll tell you that much. What are you guys talking about it? The pre's on the 8XP ain't what I thought that they would be. That's interesting. Which pre's are you using on your 8XP? So you did the MIDI from the MPC and arranging the DAW? Yeah, I don't know why people don't work like this. I don't get it. Like I don't know what you guys are up to, but this workflow is really nice. The SSL 6 is fire. I just can't bring myself to drop 1,500 on it. I mean, I I bought it for $900, and you can't get anywhere close to what the SSL 6 gives you for $900. But I think, like, I mean, like, Johnny, like, if here's the thing, it like, if you don't record, there's no reason to get an SSL 6, right? That's what you guys gotta, that's what you guys, I mean, like, it, like, Apollo interfaces, and like, whenever I see somebody get an Apollo and I know that they don't record, I'm like, dude, you spent all that money to fucking plug your speakers into an Apollo? You're an idiot. You're a fool. You know? Because it's like, what are you even doing? That makes sense. All I need to be able to do is track my MPC. Now, listen, if you're tracking your MPC, there's no better tool than an SSL 6. Like I'm gonna tell you like this. Like, there is no, like, I don't know how much you spent on your MPC, but the SSL 6 is worth more than your MPC, no matter which one you got. Like, I'm like, listen, if you I tell you like this: if you took in any of the content about the NPC for the past 3 weeks and you walked away with, I would like a better sound, right? But you noticed there is no person who's telling you how to do it. They're just being like, oh, maybe you get a. I'm like, I'm the one. I'm telling you how to 100% improve your sound. You get a fucking SSL 6. Not only am I doing it, I'm demonstrating it for you. Like, if you really pay attention to what I'm doing on my channel, I did 2 weeks of cooking up with an MPC 2500, right? Then I've done like another 2.5-3 weeks of cooking up with the with the X, and I'm tracking in, and I'm showing you exactly what I am doing. I'm showing you how I'm tracking in with the X, how I'm using the compressors on the board. Okay, how I'm recording audio in, how I'm recording an extra 4 bars so that I don't have to deal with the MIDI jitter, so I don't compromise my transients and everything. Like, I'm showing you everything. And listen to what we got. Now, granted, Granted, I also have that SPL big when I'm tracking in, which I gotta be honest with you. Ever since I got that SPL big, that thing that I was missing from my MPC 2500, I don't care about it anymore because this shit sounds big and bad now. This shit sounds big and bad. Yeah, Johnny, because if you don't spend the cash, that's how you wind up. That's how you wind up with the Tascam 12, and you get all excited because you have a fucking mixer in your room, and then when your lazy ass decides to actually read that manual, you start to realize that there's not a lot of analog components in that it's that it's a digital mixer, and the build quality was shit. And if you just would have saved up $400 more, you could have had an SSL. Like that's the thing, guys. Like the sound of hip hop, it's not an MPC and a Tascam 12. It's legit an MPC going into an SSL board, putting that SSL channel compression on each channel, and then going into the bus compressor. And for $900, you can have that on every single piece of music that you ever do. And if for some reason you're not being as productive with your music anymore, you can go get that $900 back on Reverb any day of the week. Any day of the week, dude. And then all you got to do is record, like once you got those stems recorded through your SSL6, you get it into your DAW, right? And then you don't got to do nothing crazy. You take an $80 plugin called God Particle. You don't have to fucking spend a bunch of money on Ozone, do this and that. No, you just take God Particle, right? And make sure that your kick and your bass is lighting up this part right here. And as long as your kick and your bass is lighting up this green, then all you got to do is just bring up the rest of your sounds so that you don't lose the way that your kick and snare sounds, and then you're gonna have a fucking 8-9 luff mix every single time once you turn this limiter on. It's so easy. It's so easy to get good sonics now, bro. You just gotta have the right shit, and put the amount of effort into recording. That's all that people who are like, that's all anybody is saying is setting people apart, is the way that you record it, right? Is if you have a good recording situation and you record audio, you're going to get music that sounds good once you put the plugins in it, right? If you have great VSTs and you just stay inside the box, you'll always have an in the box sound. Look at this. Like show me someone's Omnisphere beat that opens up like that. What does the SPL Big do differently than the God Particle? What vapors? What do you think the SPL Big is? Like the God Particle is a limiter and a mixing cheat sheet. What do you think the God Particle is? You guys got to get a better understanding of what these things are and what they do before you start trying to figure out what you want and what you're gonna get, you know. What's up, Keyflow? These are stop by the vicious Asha for a little. God particle stereo imaging is the amount knob, right? No. 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 Nobody knows what the amount knob does. Because Jason Joshua won't tell us. When I use the amount knob, I hear the mids and the highs get louder. That's what I hear. I thought the amount was all the parallel stuff. Yeah, nobody knows what the amount knob does. Because Jason Joshua won't tell us. So everybody just makes up what they think it is. It probably has some type of shelf boost too. That like here's the thing. Like, who cares? Who cares? That's why I like plugins like the God Particle, right? Because I don't fucking care what it's doing. You know what I mean? Like I don't give a shit what it's doing. can I hear what it does? I can hear what it does, and to my ear, when I turn it up, I hear more mids and highs. So if I ever want to hear more mids and highs, I turn that amount up. That's how I use it. I leave mine at default. Yeah, I leave mine at default, or I turn it down. No problem, vapors. The crazy thing was at 200, it didn't sound bad. Yep. Lavar says the people care so they can recreate it without paying $100. Yeah. Yeah, well, if you go to Paul Third's channel, he'll show you how to do it with all Melda plugins. So this is not the recreate it without spending $100 channel. Nice. I like it. You selling your Model 12? The amount no is fresh air from Slate Digital. The amount knob is fresh air from Slate Digital. That's funny. That's funny. Oh, oh man. Shit. Well, yeah, about. I think I got this one done. Let's rename it. Hey CMP, did you like the Machine Plus sound? Um, I don't know. It didn't really leave a an impression on me, to be honest. But again, when I had the Machine Plus, I was record like listen, bro. Like I like listen. I have an SSL 6. Everything goes through the SSL 6, so there isn't there isn't a there isn't like an issue with the sound for me, right? Or I was using I was using Luna, you know what I mean? Which like the reason why you get an Apollo, it's not so that you can use auto tune or plug in your speakers. It's so that you can use the unison preamps, right? So these unison preamps, they model the impedance paths so that when you overdrive them, it sounds as similar as it can get to to the hardware versions of these, right? So when I would use the Machine Plus, I would record my kicks through the Helios, and then I would record like snares and hi hats with the V56 for for the distortion and everything. So I was you color your sound, you know what I mean? Like that's the point. You color your sound coming in when you record. the way that the way that using synths and drum machines works is that like this like I'm gonna tell you like this workflow that a lot of people have where it's just like I'm gonna put a plugin on it, like that shit is ass backwards. And it's the difference between music that sounds amazing and music that I'm gonna convince myself that the end user driving around listening to my song isn't gonna notice, right? Because here's the thing: the people who say the end user driving around listening to my song, them motherfuckers don't have nobody driving around listening to their songs. So you can believe their advice, you know, take it with a grain of salt, you know. If somebody if somebody who actually has people going around listening to their song tells you something, then maybe you might listen to that person. Maybe that person knows what they're talking about. Someone posted the specs for the MPC one, and it looks like the only new additions are Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, not even a RAM upgrade. But here's my question to you guys that are looking at those specs: like, were you in the market for an MPC one? Did Were you looking to buy an MPC with an MPC one with more RAM? Because I wasn't. You know, I wasn't looking to get an MPC one. Like the only reason to be the only reason to be to have any feelings about that MPC one is if you need to buy an MPC one, and I don't think any of you guys needed to buy an MPC one. If it had a battery, I was. I sold my first gen Apollo Twin and bought an SSL 12 interface. Now I miss the console. Yeah, that sounds about right. Would you or have you used an analog heat to color your sound? Yeah, I have an analog heat. My buddy has it right now. I need to actually go get it back from him. Um, but yeah, the analog heat is cool. It's not. It's not what. Um, It's not what you think it is. Um, the thing about the analog heat is it doesn't have preamp on it, right? So you got to make sure that you could drive it first of all. Um, there's a lot of different tones that you could get out of it, but the there's a lot of different tones that you could get out of it, but the one that you'll use the most for what you think you want to sound like is the console circuit, and the console circuit is super subtle. You know what I mean? And I think the reason I think the reason why people get the analog heat and they don't know their expectations and what it actually is don't line up, so they give up on it, right? Let me tell you what's amazing about the analog heat. The analog heat it's a stereo device, right? It's a stereo device that gives you 4 EQ bands. 2 of those bands are filters. So you have a stereo device and you have a high pass filter and a low pass filter. Now, if you are used to using like um a cracked copy of Pro Q and putting a whole bunch of EQs in your in you know and then on top of that you use Soothe, and on top of that you use Golfoss, because you need a computer to tell you what sounds good when you EQ. Um, Having 2 analog filters isn't gonna, you're not gonna throw a parade for that. But when you actually use them, you're gonna hear the difference between an analog filter and using Pro Q. The analog heat also has a high band and a low band EQ, right? So what that means is you now have once you have an analog heat, you now have an analog EQ. And until you ever use an analog EQ, you don't understand how much better it is than a plug-in EQ, especially on the highs and lows. On a plug-in EQ, you EQ above 6 dB on the high and the low, and it's gonna do weird stuff to your audio, right? On an analog EQ, if you turn up the highs, it just turns up the highs. It doesn't get harsh. It doesn't it doesn't alias. It doesn't do nothing. Same thing with your bass. You need a bass bump, in your mix, and you run it through the analog heat, and you turn that bass up. It's going to sound better than any EQ plugin that you have. The same thing with the highs. And then, to me, the last, even though it's the feature of the unit, the last part of it is the saturation. You put on that console character circuit and you drive into it just enough so that the signal gets a little bit hair on it, it starts to shine. Man, it'll be awesome. But again, it's a subtle effect, and a lot of people, when they buy stuff for audio, they look at it like going to Golden Corral, where they wanna take their plate and go to each dish in the line. You want to make sure you get some pot roast. You want to make sure you get the fried chicken, and you need the bourbon chicken, and you need the macaroni and cheese, and don't forget to get the steak. Where you might buy a piece of analog hardware, and you might only use it for one or two things, but those one or two things that you put within the context of your song is going to make all the difference in the world. You're not going to be able to put the analog heat on everything, you know. Dun, 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 dun. I'll take you to the candy shop. Yeah, you're welcome, Johnny. Analog versus digital. The digital breaks apart way sooner. Yes, that is correct. That is correct, bro. What else you guys got? Anything interesting before I let y'all go to barbecue on this Memorial Day weekend? You're referring to the heat, not the heat effects. Yeah, I mean the heat effects is gonna be the same thing, bro. Like, let's go to reverb and see how much the heat is going for now. Bro, you could probably get the MK1 for a steal. Yeah, dude. Like, stop going on reverb, CMP. Why? Why? Because then you go on reverb. Keyflow don't like it when I go on reverb because I be finding the deals. But then he can't lowball like I can, and he winds up spending money. But yeah, you could get the MK1, right? Because you're not gonna use rough crunch, you're not gonna use distortion or high gain, like you're not gonna use those circuits, and you're really not gonna use mid drive. What you're gonna wind up using is saturation or clean boost, right? And what's also great about this is that you could parallel it. So you could wet dry it, you could drive it a little bit. You got the two EQs right here, and then you've got the two filters, and then not I forgot it's got a bandpass filter on it too. Like this thing is serious, bro. It's super serious. And you could find them. You could find them now for $500. Like, dude, this guy right here, oh, Miami Beach, Papo. I will come and see you and drop you $400 cash right now. $400 cash. Look, he was trying to sell it for 680. You know he's hurting, bro. You know he's hurting. Just tell him you'll go get it for 400. Just tell him you'll get it for 400. And then the only difference from the MK2 is that it looks like the newer stuff. But it's the same. It's the same. It's the same box, you know. It's just this one looks like your newer ones. 600 bucks for the new one. San Francisco, you know they got problems out there. Send him 500 bucks. This guy right here, he ain't gonna sell. He ain't gonna sell low. He all put the purple lighting on it. Kifo says I hate this channel. Terrible. Apollo 8B with a 500 Neve series in SSL. But your first outboard gear would definitely be the SSL 6, right? Just as long as I would get the SSL 6 as my first piece of outboard if I was recording. That's what kicks, cuz I remember when this shit started on NPC Gang, and John hit me up, and I was like, listen, bro, like, your group is good. Like, I've seen this movie before. Your group is gonna turn into a shit show for a little while, because people get very passionate about hardware and shit like that. So it's gonna be a thing. And one of the reasons why, when a community comes across like the hardware discussion, one of the reasons why it turns into a shit show is because there's a lot of confusion. People who have hardware and know hardware, they don't take the time to really explain the like the basics of everything. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see people who got money that, that want to, they want to have the best sound possible, and they just start buying shit, but they don't know how to plug it in. Like, legit. Like, for real. Just buy stuff and not know how to plug it in. Bro, I seen posts in other NPC groups of people just like getting their ass kicked by a mixer. Like, please help me, this mixer's kicking my ass. So, and before anybody spends no money on anything, because I'm not the go buy something channel, here's my affiliate link. You have to have an understanding of what the hell you are trying to do. And not only what the hell are you trying to do, but how are you going to achieve it? So asking me if the SSL 6 is the first piece of hardware somebody should get, like, I don't fucking know. What are they doing? What are they doing? Because if you're recording vocals, the first piece of hardware that you should get is a good preamp. You don't need an SSL 6 for that. If you're making beats and mixing, the first piece of hardware that you should get is a really good interface, And then you should get some good studio monitors, and then maybe you should try recording, get something to record. Like, you have an MPC, are you going to record, or are you going to use it in controller mode? If you're going to use your MPC in controller mode, then you don't need any hardware. You need plugins, and you need plugins that imitate what hardware does. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, if you're going to record, if you're going to record signals from line level devices like MPCs, I think the SSL 6 is a fantastic deal. Anyway, guys, let me get out of here. You guys keep it simple, don't be basic.